ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मयसद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम, a very very warm welcome. ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 49 ॐ सुव्रतः सुमुखः सूक्ष्मः सुघोषः सुखदः सुहृत् मनोहरोजितक्रोधो वीरबाहुर्विदारणः स्वापनस्ववशो व्यापी नैकात्मानैककर्मकृत् वत्सरो वत्स vatsalo vatsi ratnagarbho dhaneshwarah dharma kriddharmi sadasatksharamaksharam avijñāta sahasramshur vidhāta kritalakṣanah. While we almost completed the shloka, the last nama which we have taken up for our discussion, kritalakṣanah. Lakshanaha, the very characteristics of Bhagavan, Nitya, Nishpanna, Chaitanya Rupatvat, Kritalakshanaha, the one who is eternal and ever existing, or rather in the form of existence. This we had seen yesterday. We also briefly saw Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Vyavachedakam, Lakshanam, Sarvabhavanam kritam anena itiva kritalakshanaha. Sajatiya, that which talks about the very nature of Brahman. Vijatiya, which indirectly indicates Brahman. These are the two types which we know. One is the direct expression of the very nature of Brahman, and two, an indirect expression of Brahman through our known factors. In the first case, Sajatiya, we know Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma is a very nature of Brahman, and Vijatiya also refers to Brahman by negation of other things, and the pointers. The pointers are also called Vijatiya. What are the pointers here? The pointers talk about the permanent nature, and it also indicates the impermanent nature of the world. Bhava sukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam ityadi vakya. They indicate, what is that? These world and worldly aspects are not permanent. They have dosha. By indicating dosha, I make one understand that dosha is this world, dosha rahita is Brahman. Therefore, these aspects are not there in Brahman. Through those kind of expressions, I indicate again the nature of Brahman only. Therefore, Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Vyavachedakam Lakshanam. Different ways of knowing Brahman. Kritani Lakshanani Shastrani Anena itiva. The one who has created Lakshanas in the form of Shastra. See, without Shastra, we have no way of understanding Brahman. There is no other way. Veda is the only way through which we can gain the knowledge of that Supreme. The objective knowledge in the world cannot give us that supreme knowledge, because objective knowledge is always with reference to objects, even including the space. Even space becomes an object of our knowledge. Therefore, everything other than the subject me, the Brahman, is equal to that which is not Brahman. That is why it is said, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. What is this Mithya here? Mithya is that which is not me. Mithya is that which can be objectified. Therefore, through Shastras, Bhagavan himself has created the direction towards the knowledge of Bhagavan himself. Therefore, Kritani Lakshanani Shastrani Anena. Various types of Shastras have been given, various Upanishads have been given, and at the same time, he has also created great Mahatmas who have also indicated this Brahman through Purana, Itihasa, Smriti, Ityadi. Smriti here refers to Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Ityadi. Then we have Ramayana, Bhagavatam, etc. All these finally end where? At Brahman only. And Brahman is the ultimate point. There is nothing beyond Brahman. Therefore, Anena Shastrani Kritani Lakshanani. Therefore, he is called as Krita Lakshanaha Vedaha Shastrani Vijnanam Yetat Sarvam Janardanat. Janardana here refers to Mahavishnu. Through Mahavishnu, Sarvam Vijnatam. Everything that is to be known, Etat Shastrani Vedaha. Vedaha is the gift. One way, Vedaha are the blessings. Another way, to the entire humanity. For what? So that we may gain the knowledge and transcend this pluralistic world and gain the knowledge of our own nature. This we have to time and again remind ourselves. We are not talking of a Bhagavan which is far above in the 11th cloud or above the 11th cloud, etc. We are not talking of a Bhagavan who is a different entity as such, and me being a separate entity in one corner of Mysuru. No, we are not talking of that which is limited in nature, but we are talking of that unlimited Bhagavan who is none other than me, myself, from the standpoint of my true nature. Anything and everything other than my true nature is actually not me, because they are not permanent and they are not eternal. Therefore, Kritalakshanani here refers to the blessings of Janardana, which is Sarvam Vijnanam. All the Jnana. In fact, interestingly, we may also interpret this Sarvam Vijnanam here also refers to the even Laukika Jnanam also. But they are not the purpose. The purpose is Laukika Jnanam can be taken as a reference to indicate that they are limited. And Bhagavan is unlimited. Bhagavan is unlimited, we cannot conceive in our mind, we cannot comprehend that idea. What we comprehend is the limited nature of the world. Therefore, showing the limited nature of the world, gaining the knowledge of the world also, we may understand that this cannot be Bhagavan. Therefore, Bhagavan is of a different nature, which is unlimited. Nitya Nirantara Anadi Brahmavastu is Bhagavan, who is indicated here as Janardana. Atmanaha Srivatsa Lakshanam Vakshasi Kritam iti Krita Lakshanaha. One more is added. Bhagavan Acharya Shankara has added this very beautiful explanation. He says, for visualizing Vishnu, certain Lakshanas are given. Now here the bhakti aspect of a devotee is indicated. I recognize Bhagavan through an akara. Though we must also understand at the corner of our mind what akara is only a alambana. A personification of Bhagavan is only a support for us to reach Him who is Nirakara Nirguna Nitattva. But at the initial stage, this akara is extremely important, because man being extremely emotional, he has to connect to the Bhagavan. Therefore, a beautiful akara is given. For visualizing that Vishnu whom we are talking about, certain lakshanas are given. One of them, like for example, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, is one beautiful presentation of Bhagavan. Neela, he is of the color of infinity, blue. And he wears what? Pitambaradhari, we say. So all these are lakshanas which can indicate. And even there, Ajanubahu, ityadi lakshanas which indicates the physical form of Bhagavan. Among them, one of them is Srivatsa Lakshanam. One of the lakshanas is what? Srivatsa Lakshanam. In his vakshas, in his chest, there is a mole. And therefore, the one who has a mole in his chest, vakshas, is also called Krita Lakshana. Therefore, these are the various explanations that Acharya has given. And with this, we have completed the 51st shloka. Now, we enter into the 52nd shloka. Gabhastinemis sattvasthas simho bhuta maheshwarah Adidevo Mahadevo Devesho Deva Bhridguruhu. Gabhastinemis sattvasthas simho bhuta maheshwarah Adidevo Mahadevo Devesho Deva Bhridguruhu. Gabhastinemihi. This shloka has 8 namas, starting with this nama Gabhastinemihi. Gabhasti chakrasya madhye suryatmana sthitaha iti Gabhastinemihi. The one who stands like the axis, and here Surya Bhagavan is indicated, surrounding whom everything rotates. Surya Bhagavan is like the axis around which the whole planets and stars and everything move. This is one meaning. Another meaning is Bhagavan is the central point, depending on whom the entire solar system, the entire constellation is functioning. Rotating is one way of thinking. Now we understand with a certain, the mind wants a concept to understand. Therefore, a concept is given. What is the concept? Surya Bhagavan is at the center and the whole constellation is rotating around him. This is one way of expression. But what is the truth under that? Bhagavan is the central point. Bhagavan is the Adhara. Having him as the central point, having him as the Adhara, having him as the Adhisthana, everything functions. Minus which nothing will have the capacity to function. Right? Therefore, since he being the central point, he is called as Gabhastinemihi. Suryatmana here is referring to Surya Bhagavan for indicating the fact that he is the energizer. He is the enlivening principle. Sattvasthaha. What is Sattvasthaha? Acharya writes, Sattvam gunam prakashakam pradhanyena adhitishtati iti Sattvasthaha. Pradhanyena, very, very important. Mainly, actually, Sattvam Gunam Prakashakam, the one who brings in the Sattva Guna in whom, in his devotees who turn their mind towards Bhagavan. This is very important for us to understand. All of us functioning in the world outside are totally predominated, if I may say so. We are dominated with what? Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Very rarely we also gain Sattva-guna, but the duration is very less. Probably early morning when I get up, and by mistake if I have some conversation with Bhagavan, then probably at that particular period of time, Sattva Guna is there. In fact, many of us, even if we are in front of Bhagavan doing puja, etc., Rajoguna takes over by giving what? By giving various other thoughts and activities even while we are doing puja. Talking about something with the people, the members of the family, or keeping the phone in front of us and trying to look whether I have got some calls or messages, are there some WhatsApp messages, and then some people might even also look into YouTube and Facebook and things like that. All these are expressions of Rajas, Tamas, and in fact another strong word which we can use is irresponsibility. Sattva guna is always a guna that brings in lot of responsibility and leads the mind towards quietude, leads the mind towards Bhagavan. Therefore, Sattvastha, when it is said, Pradhanyena, most importantly, for a longer duration of time, eminently abides in the effulgence of Sattvaguna, meaning what? He helps us to remain in Sattvaguna. Therefore, one who eminently abides. Here, one way of translation is Bhagavan is all the time in Sattvaguna. It may be a wrong statement in a manner of saying. Why? Because he is Trigunatitaha. Bhagavan is Trigunatitaha. Therefore, even Sattva is an hindrance at that level. But for all of us, if we have to consider this, we have to consider this as a direction, as a pointer for all of us to reach him. When we take a decision, what? I must reach him alone. Therefore, I must get out of this samsara. If my mind is sure that I want to get out of this samsara, if I make that assertion, if I make that decision, a firm conviction, what? I have to get out of the samsara. Then Bhagavan blesses us with more of Sattva Guna so that our reaching him will become very easy, very comfortable. He will give us that Shakti to cross over Tamoguna and Rajoguna. It will be there. But as I said earlier once, what is that? Even though stars are there, during the daytime, it is irrelevant. Similarly, even though Rajoguna, Tamoguna are there, in front of Bhagavan's blessings, they become irrelevant and Sattva Guna will rule and take us towards him. Therefore, Sattvam Gunam Prakashakam. It becomes effulgent. Pradhanyena, importantly, for a longer duration of time. Adhitishtati. Adhitishtati means it remains. It is the one which governs. Whom? The person who wants to get out of samsara and reach Bhagavan alone. Iti Sattvastaha. And the next nama, or rather another explanation, Sarva Pranishu Tishtati itiva. Sarva Pranishu Tishtati. Tishtati meaning what? He is well established. In what? Sarva Pranishu. It is not only human being. It is in all Jiva Rashis, Sarva Pranishu Tishtati itiva Sattvastaha. Continuing. The next nama, Simhaha. Simha is a very, very, very wonderful nama that is given to Bhagavan, which indicates Vikramashalitvat Simhavat Simhaha. Vikramashalitvat meaning what? The one in terms of valor, in terms of power. Very interestingly, you will find Simha, though we call it as the king of the forest, nobody went and crowned Simha on this Sunday morning 11 o'clock. We have a felicity, what is that? Ceremony. What is that ceremony? We will be crowning Simha as the king of the forest. Nobody did that. The very existence, the very way it is itself means he is the king. Bhagavan himself is called a Simha, which indicates fearlessness, which indicates power, which indicates the lordship in him. Therefore, he is called as Simha, the one which is invincible. Bhagavan is invincible. Nrishabdalopena. Nrishabdalopena, that word in that Simha, Nri is dropped at occasions, which otherwise indicates Nrisimha. Nrisimha is one of the avatar of Bhagavan. Therefore, Simha also can mean Narasimha Avatara Bhagavan Vishnu. Evam Simha. Acharya Shankara indicates, reminds us that Nrisimha is nothing but Bhagavan Vishnu. Bhuta Maheshwaraha. Very simple to understand. Ishwaraha, the Lord, the ruler, the ultimate power. Ishwaraha. Bhuta Maheshwaraha, Bhutanam Mahaishwaraha, the one who is the Lord of all beings in this creation. Therefore, Bhuta Maheshwaraha. One meaning is Bhutanam Ishwaraha. What is Bhutanam here? Bhutanam refers to all the creation. The entire creation, he is the Mahaishwaraha. Remember, Indra is also a Lord, but Indra is only a Lord at the level of functional Lord, whereas Bhagavan is the ultimate Lord. Bhutena Satyena. Satyena meaning what? That which is. Bhutam. Bhutam here means not Bhutam and all. Bhutam here means that which is. Again, we may use existence. Bhutena Satyena Sa Eva Paramaha. That alone is the ultimate because it is the truth in all beings, of all beings. Mahan Ishwaraha. Therefore, he is called ultimate God. Bhuta Maheshwaraha. Adidevaha. Several times we have talked about this. Sarva Bhutani Adiyante. Adiyante here refers to what? That which one is ultimate Lord, another one is one who withdraws all beings and elements within him. Sarva Bhutani, all the entire creation folds up. At the time of Pralaya Kala, we may say, Adiyante anena iti adihi. And another meaning is what? Adihi cha asau devaha cha iti adidevaha. The one who is the beginningless beginning even at the level of celestial beings. This we have discussed several times. Therefore, Adidevaha. Mahadevaha. And again the same meaning but a different nama. We have already expressed this in the introduction itself. Many names can mean one meaning, can give one meaning, or one name can give several meanings. Mahadevaha, Mahancha Asau Devaha cha Mahadevaha, the one who is the ultimate Lord and who is the greatest Lord. Therefore, Mahadevaha. Sarvan Bhavan Parityajya Atmajnana Yoga Aishwarye Mahati Mahiyate Tasmat Uchyate Mahadevaha. He is called as Mahadeva because Sarva Bhavan Parityajya, having given up everything, he becomes the ultimate destination of Atma Jnana Yoga Aishwarya. In that great Atma Jnana alone he stands and everything can be negated. Atma Jnana cannot be negated. And how do you gain him? Again, only through Atma Jnana. Through Atma Jnana, he is the ultimate whom one has to gain. And he remains as the very Atma Jnana. He is that Atma Jnana. Therefore, Mahadevaha. Deveshaha. Devanam Ishaha. Pradhanyena Devanam Ishaha Deveshaha. The Lord of all Devatas is Deveshaha. Deva Bhrit Guruhu. What is Deva Bhrit Guruhu? Devan Bibharti iti Deva Bhrit Shakraha Tasya api Shasita iti Deva Bhrit Guruhu. Lord of all Devas. Devas are all called Lord only. We all know that we call so many Devas as Lord, celestial beings. But he is Devanam Devaha Deva Bhrit Guruhu. Incidentally, all these names are various names with similar meaning. Devanam Bharanat Sarva Vidyanam cha Garanadva Deva Bhrit Guruhu. The one who is the protector of Devas. Not only the creatures created, but he is a protector of devas and the possessor of all disciplines of knowledge. Sarva Vidyanam. He is the one who has the knowledge of all Vidyas, and it is the one from whom all the Vidyas have come forth, have come up in this world. Therefore, he is called Devabrit Guruhu. Taking the 53rd shloka. Uttaro gopatir gopta jnana gamyah puratanaha sharira bhuta bhridbhokta kapindro bhuri dakshinaha. Uttaro gopatir gopta jnana gamyah puratanaha sharira bhuta bhridbhokta kapindro bhuri dakshinaha. May I at this point keep you informed. Wherever there are certain thoughts which are repeating, I will go a little faster. Alright, I will not keep on repeating the same thoughts again and again. I might go a little faster because many of the names from here are those which has the meaning which has already been explained elaborately. So please keep this in mind. Certain namas we say elaborately, and suddenly certain namas very fast it goes. Then you say Swamiji has run, has moved very fast. He did not explain properly. That way we should not think. It has been similar meaning, content has been already explained elaborately. Coming to this shloka, Uttaraha. Janma samsara bandhanat Uttarati iti Uttaraha, the one who wakes up all of us. Now look at that, the uplifter of Jiva from samsara bandhana, who wakes up. We are all sleeping with reference to our own true nature. Therefore he wakes up. When Upanishad says Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapya Varani Bodhata, or even Swami Vivekananda said, arise, awake, stop not till you reach the goal. What is the goal? Atma Jnana alone is the goal. Therefore, Janma Samsara Bandhanat. This is what we say in the Dhyana Shloka. Yes, Smarana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhanat Vimuchyate. Vimuchyate or Uttarati, both have the similar meaning. Uttarati, the one who wakes us up. Vishwasmat Utkrishtaha itiva Uttaraha, the one who is the Lord of the whole universe. Therefore, he is called as Uttaraha. Gopatihi, a very beautiful name which all of us know very well. Why? Gavam Palanat Gopavesha Dharaha Gopatihi. Gavam Palanat, because he took up the beautiful life of a protector of cows. Isn't it? How much of stories we have in Bhagavatam where all the cows just turn towards him the moment he starts playing his flute. Isn't it? Why only cows? Every Jivarashi turned towards him all the time. And in particular, he has always, enticed the cows. And therefore he is called Gavam Palanat, the one who protected, the one who cared. That care is also a very beautiful word. Protector has got a very strong meaning. Cared has got a very loving touch. Therefore, we may also say Palanath here as the one who cared cows. Gopta. What is Gopta? Again, Samasta Bhutani Palayan. There it was only cows were indicated. Here, Samasta Bhutani Palayan Rakshakaha Jagataha iti Gopta, the one who is the protector of entire Jagat. Jnanagamnyaha, another very beautiful name. Jnane naiva gamyate iti jnanagamnyaha. Very, very important point. The one who can be gained only through jnana. Upanishad says, Jnana devatu kaivalyam. There is no other way. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga, dhyana yoga, all of them are very much in the path. All of them are extremely required. But the last lap has to be jnana. Let us suppose I gain lot of punya. I get Swargaloka. I will also be promoted to Brahmaloka. But then at Brahmaloka, Prajapati, Bhagavan, Brahma himself will give us that knowledge. And then take us to the ultimate. But until then, think, until then, until when? Until I gain the knowledge of the Supreme and experience them, the ultimate reality cannot be experienced. Therefore, jnanenaiva, jnanena eva. This shabda eva is very important. Only through jnanam gamyate iti jnanagamyaha. He can be gained only through knowledge. Puratanaha. The next name is Puratanaha. Kalena aparichinnatvat. The one who cannot be limited by Kala. Pura api bhavati. He remains as the ancient. This again we have discussed several times. The one who is beyond time. Therefore he is called Puratanaha. Sharira Bhuta Bhrit. A very beautiful name again. Sharira Arambhaka Bhutanam Bharanat Pranarupadharaha Sharira Bhuta Bhrit. Bhagavan, who is in the form of pranas. Because without pranas, Sharira cannot function. Why? Sharira is matter. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Jala, Prithvi, Panchabhutatmakam Shariram, by itself being, all of them being matter, cannot function without the presence of pranas. And prana is what? Bhagavan himself. Though prana is also a sheath with reference to a technical way of dealing it, but here pranas actually mean that very principle, that very life in me, which is Bhagavan. Sharira Arambhaka Bhutanam Bharanat, the one who keeps the Sharira functioning. Pranarupadharaha Sharira Bhuta Bhrit. Bhokta. This is a very interesting, joyful nama. What is Bhokta? The one who is the enjoyer. All of us want to become Bhoktas. Yes or no? Every one of us want to enjoy. Every one of us want pleasure. Every one of us want, everything you may say, starting from coffee to breakfast to lunch to dinner to situation to friends to everything. Comfort. All these are what? Objects for me to enjoy. The only difference here is, we become bhoktas only when we have the external circumstances conducive to me. When they are not there, I am no more bhokta. I become such a terrible person who create trouble for myself and for others. I become so agitated, frustrated, disturbed. Why? I am not able to gain all the objects of my desire. But Bhokta, what a beautiful name to complete 500 names. Bhokta is a 500th name. What is that 500th name? He is the very ultimate enjoyer. What we see through the eyes, beautiful forms, color, he only enjoys through the eyes. It is he who enjoys beautiful sangeetam or wonderful talks through the ears. It is he who enjoys. Similarly is everything. He is the ultimate bhokta. The jiva is also a bhokta with reference to limited things. Whereas with Bhagavan is the ultimate bhokta. He is in fact, he alone is the enjoyer, in a manner of saying. Therefore, he is called bhokta. Palakatvat bhokta. One, because he is the protector. Paramananda sandoha sambhogadva bhokta. He is the one who also enjoys through the body or even without the body. Why do you say without the body? Because when it is through the body, those enjoyments are all only for the jiva, and they are all very limited and they are all very small. But without the body, Bhagavan alone enjoys because of what? Because he is Ananda Swarupa. A Swarupa which does not depend upon anything. He is the very embodiment, he is the very nature of Ananda. Therefore, he eternally enjoys. Therefore, he is called Bhokta. Kapindraha. This we all know. Kapindra. We say Kapindraha means Hanumanji. Somebody says Sugriva was the ruler of Kapis. Therefore, he is Kapindraha. But who ruled everybody's heart? Think. Therefore, Hanumanji becomes Kapindraha in one way. Another way is, he is the Indra of Kapi. He is the ruler, lord of Kapi, which indicates Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji as the Avatara Purusha. Kapinam Vanaranam Indraha Raghavaha. Bhagavan Sri Ramchandraji. Kapischa asau Indrascha iti Kapindraha. In fact, Kapi also means boar. Varaha. So, Varaham Vapusthitaha. He was in the form of Varaha as an avatara. Therefore, he may also be called as Kapindraha. Thus, we have regarding Kapindraha in Rama Avatara, there is no end. We have spoken enough when we discussed on Rama. Therefore, Kapindra also means Bhagavan Sri Rama. Bhuri Dakshinaha, another beautiful nama. Bhurayoho Bhakvayaha Yajna Dakshinaha Dharma Maryadam Darshayataha Yajnam Kurvataha Vidyate iti Bhuri Dakshinaha. The one who is associated with the plenty of dakshinas given by all the yajna kartas in the world. Remember, yajna, when we say, not only that yajna by with a homa kunda etc., even jnana yajna is also included in that. That is why during jnana yajna, at the end of jnana yajna, which was beautifully conducted, more than 500 yajnas Param Pujya Gurudev conducted, and now all the acharyas, all the dharmika institutions conduct so much of jnana yajna. And at the end of jnana yajna, a system, a sampradaya is, we give Guru Dakshina. In fact, that is a rina which has to be given, which must be given. Why? Otherwise we will come back. The rina has to be cleared. The account has to be settled. Therefore, Dakshina is a very, very, very important part of any yajna yagadi karma as well as jnana yajna. In everything, Dakshina completes the process. Otherwise, the yajna is incomplete. There were so many varieties of dakshinas that were given. Go dakshina, then dakshina in terms of wealth, in terms of land, etc., etc. Varieties of dakshinas were there, and all were sincerely, joyfully, with love, with care, and full heart. Heartfully it was given with so much of love. Those dakshinas must be given. Therefore, Bhuri Dakshina, when he said, all those dakshinas which are given, he accepts and blesses us with whatever we want. Therefore, he is called as Yajna Dakshinaha Dharma Maryadam. Now, look at that very beautiful word. Dakshina is a dharma maryada. It has to be given, it has to be shown. Therefore, dharma maryadan darshayatah yajnam kurvatah vidyante iti bhuri dakshinaha. With that, we have completed the 53rd shloka. We will take up tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.